People are often confused about friction, even though we always deal with friction in our everyday life. If we go back to the cork that I was playing with in the last video, remember that it's going to remain at rest unless it's acted upon by an outside force. So if I give it a flick, it moves. But why does it stop moving? Because there has to be another external force that's working on the cork, which is going to stop its motion. And that is friction. So there are three main types of friction. The first kind of friction is called static friction. Static, still. So if you have something that is still, in order to get it to move, you have to overcome static friction. So I have this cork now on the styrofoam tray. If I lift up the tray, it's not sliding down because static friction is holding it in place. The static friction between the tray and the cork. But eventually, I'm going to overcome that static friction and the cork is going to slide. Same thing if I slide it on the table. It eventually will stop sliding because now we have the second form of friction, sliding friction. Sliding friction stops something that's already sliding. So once this starts sliding, the sliding friction between the table and the cork takes over and will eventually stop it sliding. The third kind of friction is rolling friction. If I take this ball, in order to get it to start moving in the first place, I have to overcome the static friction between the ball and the table. But once I do that, it will roll. But as you notice, it will stop rolling eventually. And that's because of the rolling friction between the table and the ball. So to recap, static friction. You have to overcome static friction to get something moving in the first place. Sliding friction. If something is sliding, sliding friction will stop the sliding. Rolling friction. Something that's rolling, rolling friction will stop the rolling.